back to ski skakalalala skyliner build mam shkari lip makari. So deep with this build, which are sick. Exists since 2 or 3 years, but is this new now? We new discovered. This is a huge rat combo set build. This is so insane. So watch this Slavic TV with this rat build side I have, because me is the Master King when I go up to 1000, 2, 3, 3, 4, 20 up. Fuck me up.
What a shame.
And here we go with this fucking awesome OP build. Haha! Yeah! Yeah! This is so Slavic again, another rat build! We are so fucked up, man. We're gonna look first the stats, sets, then the skills, and at the end champion points and opinion. And this build is created especially for handle hardcore PvP situations, as well very difficult wet dungeon on solo play, VMA included if you make them all on maximum Magicka DPS. And we have the volatile familiar. This is your pet bounded Aegis, which gives you 8% more Magicka minor ward, and the mage 2700 is boosted up with a little bit of divine traits, which mother potent brew, which gives both stats and the Magicka recovery. And we are a vampire for don't be one-shotted under 50%. I take 33% less damage. And let's waste a little bit let's speed up a little bit the video for waste the Magicka under 33%. I got another set which boosts up. Then I drink my pot, I buff up my resistances and the spell damage, and then we have 54k rounded Magicka with a 4000 of Magicka recovery with 23k of health, which is pretty good. The spell damage 2500. I have a spell damage glyph, then goes up to 2900 with 43% of crit, which is pretty decent. And the resistances 70k with 15k. That from the overload bar I can boost up, and I need 0 crit resistance because it's a shield stacker build, so you cannot be critted on the shields. Yeah, I'm so fucked up, man. And on the back bar we have around 50k, 49k of Magicka with similar recovery, almost 3970, and the spell damage a little bit less, but same resistances. It's pretty much the same, just less Magicka. Over 12k of stamina on both bar with 600 of stamina recovery for the dodge rolls, which are pretty good like a sorcerer. And on the main bar Inferno, Necropotent stuff in Neon, but for the PvE you could use also lightning stuff for AoE damage. Then when you heavy attack, that's pretty good. And I have to transmute my Inferno Necropotent stuff in Neon, so that boosts up a 15% on your Magicka DPS on your abilities, and in general is better than sharpened at the moment, so I transmute that. The Inferno, zack! We got 3 crystals, man. So I slot that on my main bar for boost up the whole damage, and on the back bar just the rest or Necropotence with the spell damage glyph empower it. But you could use also Maelstrom resto stuff for getting a little bit more of Magicka recovery, but then you lose a little bit of Magicka pool. Infuse a chest with a 3 stat glyph, and we completed with the 3 jewelry of Necropotence all in gold, and 1000 of max mag, and 3000 of and yeah, you see with the weapon. And the second set are the Lich in light with also infused, and then the rest are all divine traits, and here also 3 stat glyph you see on the legs, and divines for the shoes. And this gives you a huge recovery under 33%, goes up then 4k. And the one is a Dimi house for maximum stamina and Magicka, the left slot. And I run 6 light and 1 heavy, just like that is possible. And both sets you can swap a little bit like you want, so the Lich and Necropotence you can swap how you like. And for the skills, you have on the main bar Bounded Aegis, because gives me a 20% of stamina recovery, a 20% of health recovery, gives you more resistances, and gives 8% of your Magicka pool. That I have slotted on all both bars. You have to double slot it, if not, with your bar swap you lose it. And that's really awesome for the passives. Second skill are In the Light. So for the crit, and when you press the button, makes over 5 seconds 20% more of spell damage, and you can discover also the enemy in the PvP. It's a must-have for this max stat build. Summon Volatile Familiar, that's your pet, which are really aggressive. Look, this damage over there. Every 2 seconds makes 4,000 amount of damage for 8 seconds, and the final stuns. This is your first stunner. And this is a pretty nerfy, and can take you off the pressure just in the VMA or in the dungeons, but in the PvP is pretty nerfy because it is protected by the Hardened Ward. My pet never die. Even by a player didn't die. This is a shield stacker build, so this pet makes a really huge damage with this high Magicka pool, and he don't die because he's protected by this shield pretty much all 6 seconds. Higher is the Magicka pool, higher is this shield. Crushing Shock, which makes huge damage when that crits, always 16 or 70k. So it's not 3200, but over 5000 flame damage and all the rest. And the final cast will interrupt and set off balanced, which increases then a 10% more of DPS on your champion points then. And here I chose it flame damage versus ice damage, because it's so many vampires, and 90k when that crit, do you know how much hurts that? And every second 6200 damage over time. And by the passives gives you 2% more Magicka plus more recovery. On the back bar we have double slotted that, you need that, and crit surge are really high. One of the best skill in the whole ESO, because when you crit, heals up to 1700 every second and boost up your whole Magicka DPS. Volatile armor, you have double slot, if not you lose it. And then I go with Hardened Ward. I stack up one shield on the other. So if you have your healing ward from the rest of stuff, you press first the healing ward, and then I press Harness Magicka, and then the Hardened Ward. So that's insane, because it gives you 3 times back 2000 of Magicka. That's really cool. And so I have on every bar a protection. The healing ward, this is your crap button. When you are in the shit, I press this button, and then immediately I cast a shield on the top of that, so I have the whole range of the heal back from this shield. So you have to bar swap and shield stack these 3 shields together, so you never die, and it makes you trolling around very much. You are immortal. That's because they can't crit on you when you are shielded too. The crit surge and the healing ward are relevant for heal up this build the whole time, for don't get down. And this is your electro balls, your overload on your back bar. That when that crit, the shock damage is really high, and on the light attacks gives back Magicka, which is really functional. And on the overload we have 3 slotted 3 times Bounded Aegis again, if not you lose 8% at all the passives, and Streak, which stunning them for 1.5 seconds when you streak inside. And that's your get away bar. This is the reason why I have the overload bar, for get off the problem and for a direct heal, because Dark Tear are one or the second best skill in the whole game with crit surge together. So I can streak away and heal me immediately, and gives me back also stamina, which I need for my dodge roll, so I can permanently dodge roll. And here you have both resistances, and I slot it because on the movement speed, by boost up your movement speed. And for the getaway bar, out of trouble, these 3 skills are very good. Sometimes I go then back for take up my shield or my healing ward. That you have to practice a little bit on your back bar with the overload bar. It's just a practice. when you got it, then it's cool. This is volatile armor. You need that because if I overload and I don't slot that, my pet will die. My pet I have to keep up because increases 8% my health, and yeah, especially also for the Magicka pool. If you don't like the skills, then you can also swap the skills. If you mean, okay, 2 shields are enough, so you can this Daedric Prey, which makes a huge damage over time and increases 40% the damage of your pet. So, but for trolling around, I go with 3 shields. This is how you like. What champion points you make that quick? 51 and 3, 75 with 45, because I wanna lock off the last passive 2% and both recovery when I run tumbling, and 56 Elfborn, 43 Elemental Expert. So now I have Nirnholded made it, so maybe makes sense to put a little bit in spell erosion, if you like that. Okay, light armor ignores the staff, Inferno ignores 10%, so but then you have to put a little bit more in spell erosion if you like. I go without. Master of Arm increases at 20% of your whole ability, 75 for damage over time, because I exploit the passive by my main spam ability, Crushing Shock, which sets him off balance at 10% of additional damage. Yeah, and yeah, what is important to say again, Iron Cloud for reduces a 19.7 0 encrypt because you are a shield master, and Unchained you gain Bastion at 20% important. Yeah, and that's is it. My opinion to this build is very deep, and the dodge roll are very good too. 2-3 dodge roll is possible, and yeah, all these selected sets are very simple to obtain, so it's very easy to get and to farm too. If you don't have time, it's very cheap since 2018 in all guild stores, really cheap around Mournhold or your main fracture. The build rocks as fuck, very high max Magicka, which increases your strength of your shield and your Magicka DPS with the pet, which takes you off the pressure in the whole PvE. In the PvP, okay, not, but he survived and I love it. Please don't forget to subscribe. I thank you and all new subscribers. You guys are awesome, mate.